First off, I want to say rest in peace to Takeoff. And then I want to say, cooking up dope with a Uzi, blow. My niggas is savage, ruthless. We got 30s and 100 rounds too. They say if music soothes the soul of the savage beast, then it can also disturb it. You got people thinking that they have something in common with you who shouldn't even be in your presence. Let's get into some of this straight game.
Yeah. Blackjack. Life is like a game of cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Yeah. Blackjack. To play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy DELRAY Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button as it helps push the content out to more potential subscribers, as well as the people who have already subscribed to the channel. And like I said, if you haven't done so, please subscribe yourself and tell a friend. Also, if you're new to Straight Game TV and this is your first time watching, if you would like to be one of the first people notified when I drop some of this straight game, please do me a favor and click on the bell notification right below this video. I'm going to get into it. It's hard to really understand why we do the things that we do to each other from a violent standpoint, right? I understand, jealousy. I understand envy to the point of the definition of the word. But the sheep in wolf's clothing, right? Or the wolf in sheep's clothing thing I'll never really get, if you will. And you can go both ways with that. The brother Takeoff. First, I'm going to say, may he rest in peace. My condolences to his family, to his friends, and to the people that loved and cared for him. But at the end of the day, I always go back to the music. Bad and bougie, right? We got 130 rounds too. Bad and bougie. Hipping with a Uzi, right? Bad and bougie. We got 30s and 100 rounds too. The problem is that this is what the record labels are promoting. I'm going to give you a prime example. Who is LL Cool J in the new hip hop era? You don't have him. Who is MC Hammer in the new hip hop era? You don't have him. Who is KRS-One in the new hip hop era? You don't have him. All of those rappers that I just mentioned are still alive. And what you have to understand is none of those rappers really talked about weaponry or killing or harming another black man as their main theme of their music. And I'm not saying that any way, shape, or form is Takeoff responsible for his death. Not even hardly. It was a situation that went down, and for whatever reason, people were in his company that probably shouldn't have been. Because if it came to a point where somebody had to pull a gun and shoot him and take his life, then them people that you don't need to be around. And if you around anybody in where you have to carry a gun, then you're in an environment and around people that you shouldn't be around. And so I say, once again, we go back to the music, because when you get to the music, the music is widely disseminated, if you will, to the public. And see, you got youngsters listening to it. You got grown adults listening to it. You got people who become fans of your music listening to it. But you also have people who think that by listening to your music, you and them have something in common, because they might be living the street life, if you will, right? And so y'all may happen to meet, cross paths, through mutual friends, through a situation, party, through, whatever kind of environment that you guys meet in. And you may come up on a conversation and things, begin to, start off normal. And then for some odd reason, it takes a wrong turn. It wasn't that it really took a wrong turn. It was the person that you was talking to didn't like you to begin with. But they were trying to find common ground. And when it was understood that they couldn't find common ground, it was only then that they became your adversary for whatever reason, for whatever petty reason or situation that they could think of, because they really didn't like you to begin with. And the real truth is that they shouldn't even have been in your presence. And the only reason why they were in your presence longer than they should have is because they came as a wolf in sheep's clothing. You understand what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, like I said, the music is making people think that things are a certain way and influencing these younger kids, individuals, thinking that carrying guns is cool, thinking that, having to do or shoot somebody or kill somebody or a gun might be the answer to their problems. And I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with defending yourself. That's one thing. But carrying a gun with the intention of escalating a situation, knowing that you might have a gun, right, and may have the upper hand at that moment in time, only to basically harm someone and shoot them, when at first the meeting was about you coming in peace. So the deception is there. And them being influenced by your music, thinking that you and them have something in common because they live the street life. They carry a gun every day. But you rap about carrying guns and using guns and so on and so forth. So you see how that mixture or that similarity can become someone who thinks that they have something in common with you, Well, yeah, he's a real one. He from the street. And they talk about, they got Uzis and guns and they doing this and, shoot them up, right? That's that thing, that energy. But this is what the record companies are only allowed to be played. So, whatever happened to Brother Takeoff is unfortunate. From what I understand and some of the reports, I don't know how true they are. It was over some kind of dice game, some kind of argument. And from that perspective, like I said, when in fact, one shouldn't have been arguing about anything like that. Or I'll take it a step further, even shooting dice. Everything ain't for everybody. You can't do that with your friends and people who understand you. If you win, you lose. You know what I mean? People get to talking and so on and so forth. And then, one thing leads to another. Then people's pride and their ego come in the way. And now the situation has escalated to somebody pulling out a pistol and shooting in this situation with the Brother Takeoff taking somebody's life. How unfortunate. Once again, you're dealing with somebody's child. You're dealing with somebody's brother, somebody's uncle, or somebody's a boyfriend. and just family members overall, when the situation before it escalated to that could have been what? De-escalated. Man, it ain't even about that. When I ain't even on that. But like I said, they were jealous to begin with, or they didn't like you to begin with, or somebody said something that they thought was disrespectful. They say pride cometh before the fall, man. You know, so a lot of times, like I said, you know, certain people shouldn't even be in your presence. And it's not that you're better than them. It's not that you're better than them at all. At the end of the day, you have nothing in common, even though they may think that you have something in common based on the content of your music, based on some of the stories and situations that you may have dealt with prior to becoming a rap star, hip hop star, whatever. But truly and honestly, you have nothing in common. And so it's unfortunate. And so my thing is, at the end of the day, watch what you're saying. Watch the energy you're putting out there. Because there are people who are listening who want to try you. Who want to try you. And so that you may be rapping and talking about, you know, guns, violence, stuff you did in the hood, and so on and so forth. Some people look at you as if you still live that life. And so when they come up on you, right, you know, they come in with that attitude of, you know, let me see, you know, where he at or where this person at. And you don't even come across like that. It's like, hey, man, what's happening? But see, they got a gun on them. Because without that gun on them, they wouldn't be acting like that either. You see what I'm saying? But see, one knows that they have a gun so they can kind of, you know, press it up a little bit or step it up a little bit, and knowing that if anything, you know, happen or take place, they're going to pull. They're going to pull out. Right? And you, on the other hand, you just come to have a good time. You chilling, you relaxing. But you a superstar. All of the girls like you. You know what I mean? You know, you got a beautiful woman. You know, you all in the news. They talking about how you buying this and getting that, you know. And some people simply don't like that. It's a recipe for hate. It's a recipe for disdain. It's a recipe for jealousy. And so what we need to understand is everything ain't for everybody. And you can't hang out with everybody. Even though they might seem like they cool. You know, your path is your path. Their path is their path. And there's nothing wrong with showing respect. Hey, how you doing, brother? How you doing? You know, can I talk to you, man? Because I do music, because I X, Y, and Z. Brother, I'm not really doing that right now. But like I said, here's the email. If you want to send your stuff to my manager, he'll be happy to listen to it and keep it pushing. You know, and unfortunately, you can't even have a conversation with some people because, you know, wherever they come from, whatever they're thinking, right, is not on the level that you're thinking at that particular time. There are levels to this. You know what I mean? And like I said, once again, unfortunately, you know, people feel the way that they feel. And unfortunately, the brother Takeoff lost his life based on something that wasn't even worth it. From what I understand, over a dice game. No. It wasn't that much money involved where somebody had to lose their life. It wasn't that much money involved where somebody had to lose their father or lose their brother or lose their son or lose their close loved one. It just wasn't. And so, once again, when we take a step back, there's a lot of contributing factors, you know. But like I said, if your music is predominantly dealing with guns, violence, hustling, and so on and so forth, once again, you're going to have people who think that they are on your level, as far as how you think, what you've been through, and they're gonna relate to you like, I like their music. They be talking that real shit. You know what I mean? They be talking that, X, Y, and Z, right? And you talked about that, but that wasn't who you were, because as you became more successful in your career, you began to grow. But some people don't see you like that. They see you for what you said in that song, and that's what they want to hold you to. And so, like I said, the message overall from this is, where do we go? What do we learn? What I like to say is, at the end of the day, everything ain't for everybody. And everybody does not deserve to be in your company. And it's not that you think you better than them, right? It's just a different level of thinking. You're moving in two different directions. And it's about progress. And as sad as it may seem, some people don't want you to make progress. They like to see you in the same similar situation as them. You moving out, you flying private, like I said, once again, you all on TV, you winning awards, your videos, you riding around in hot cars, and you got, big jewelry and all of that stuff, And then I'm going to go to this, and I'm going to leave you with this. You have some people that'll hang out with you, hang around you. And at your worst moment in your life, right? Sometimes you won't even be able to understand or to see it, as Brother Takeoff didn't. Where people will film you at your worst moment. Here's Brother Takeoff losing his life, and you have somebody not actually helping and trying to say, hey, hold him up, trying to participate in saving his life, or I don't know if they call 911 or whatever. But what I do know is that they had their phone on recording it. Once again, there's levels to this. And that's a level of thinking, right, that you or I may not be able to comprehend. But somebody else, for clicks and likes, it's perfectly okay with them. You get it? And so that's where you have to have a discerning eye about who you let into your circle and let be around you. Because unfortunately, when they were supposed to be trying to help out the situation, they were filming it. And they were filming Brother Takeoff as his body, as his spirit left his body right there as he was being filmed in a pool of blood. And didn't even think twice to go post it on Instagram or post it on Twitter or post it on Facebook. Didn't think twice. They needed the views. They needed the clicks. And so let this be a lesson learned. As we've heard it before, growing up, you know what I mean? You got to watch who you hang around. You got to watch who you let, be in your space. You got to watch who you interact with. You never know what they're about, what they're doing, so on and so forth, right? That at Takeoff's dying moment, there was somebody filming instead of assisting and trying to help save his life. May the brother Takeoff rest in peace once again. May his family find peace, find comfort at this moment. Yeah. Your boy DELRAY, straight gang.